All right, guys, here we are. It is our Blue Protoss player from the team, TeamLiquid.net, or the website TeamLiquid.net, and their team, also called Team Liquid. It is Liquid HerO. There you go. Say that 5 times fast. And down at the bottom left part of the map in the teal is Artist.
Yes, those were all descriptors of Team Liquid. Well done.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, so here we go. It is time now for a TVP on Calm Before the Storm. Pretty predictable pick, like I said before. For HerO, of course, Protoss players love this map. And Artist immediately will not be terribly happy with the spawn positions. It is a very large, rotationally symmetrical map, but Artist would have still liked if HerO was still up here in the top left-hand corner to have been in the top right-hand corners. He would have had very easy dropping access, especially with Artist's pretty aggressive dropping play into his opponent's backdoor expansion.
Yeah, generally you want to see Terrans be a little bit more aggressive on this map just because late-game Protoss is so incredibly strong, ridiculously strong, in fact, on this map. So we have seen Terrans try to, well, we've seen them try a couple different things. We've seen them try to end the game relatively early in the early mid-game. I think that's probably the best time to try to do it, you know, some sort of 2-base timing. But we do see a lot of Terrans try to go into the late game, and it just becomes so dependent on the perfect EMPs at that point that I think it becomes very, very difficult. It gives Protoss a huge advantage in terms of being able to go that double forge style with all the upgrades. So I'm interested to see what Artist is going to choose to do. Is he going to try to play the long game, kind of rely on his macro and control, or is he going to try to get in there, end things early, and not let HerO get to that really overpowered deathball point that Protoss can reach in the late game sometimes?
Now, Artist characteristically is going ahead and expanding now to the backdoor expansion on a very large map like this, and we've seen this once before earlier on in the set against Atlanta Spaceship, but HerO was able to punish that there. In this case, HerO is taking his fast expansion incredibly quickly as well, so he's not going to be able to put on that sort of pressure, and it looks like we may be in store for a macro game.
Yep, certainly could be. But will it be a long macro game or not? Could just be still, you know, 2-base versus 2-base. These guys already on twice as many bases as they had last time, except for HerO, who's on the same amount. And let's see here.
Twitter agrees with me, man. Twitter agrees with me.
Hey, well, you know what? My Twitter agrees with me.
I believe both those guys. Those guys tweeted at both of us. So
yeah, well, I've got other people on my Twitter that agree with me. So thank you to those people.
Thank you, every rational person who recognizes that that was a 1-base versus 1-base game this time.
You know, I feel like if this goes on much longer,
yes,
it might get embarrassing for you.
What? No. No. All right.
Good.
Well, let's see. Artist is going to pick up on double gas before Cybernetics score starts. So, HerO is going to have a pretty ridiculous amount of gas, pump out units, and tech up very, very quickly in this game. Artist, on the other hand, he is going to second guess as well, but it's coming up after his second barracks, which is what we saw him trying to do on Atlanta Spaceship in the first game. It's a build we've seen players like Thorzane go after as well. But, you know, this time we're actually going to see it fleshed out a little bit because it's going to be a while before HerO's going to put on some pressure.
Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see HerO go for that very quick double forge as well. Just kind of sit on, you know, 4 gates and a robo and 2 forges, and then take a third a little bit later after that. That's kind of been the sort of rule of thumb for Protoss players on this map lately. That SCV showing off the ability that jetpacks give him. Not as strong as the Reaper jetpacks, but they're good enough to avoid. So let's. Oh, that was close.
Now, do they have wheels underneath those legs down there?
No, I don't think so.
Are they just hovering?
I think they're just hovering.
I actually don't know that.
It'd be kind of silly to have wheels. I mean, you'd have to have pretty amazingly strong wheels to go over the type of terrain you see.
Yeah.
StarCraft, you've got sand, you've got rock, you've got like ancient fortresses like this.
That's true.
Grass.
What about tanks then? Tanks they have treads, or
tanks
do they have
treads, man.
They just, I didn't know if they were like hover tanks or something.
No, they're bad. Treads. What do you think this is? Command and Conquer? Didn't they have like tanks that hovered in Command and Conquer?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's been a long time since I played Generals, so.
Yeah, no kidding.
I used to be addicted to that game, actually.
Dude, Red Alert, I was all over that as a kid.
Red Alert? Oh, man.
Yeah, Tesla coils.
Way back in the day, yeah, man. Mammoth tanks.
All Mammoth tanks.
Mammoth tanks all day,
so much fun.
That's right.
Not terribly balanced, but fun.
That was one of the first RTSs I played. That like Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2 as well.
I played quite a bit of Warcraft 2, yeah. I got into Warcraft 3 a little bit, but actually played Warcraft 2 more. Let's see here, though. Artis making quite a bit of Marines at the moment. Actually adding in tanks right now as well. So this is close to that Nada-style push where you have 2 bases pumping out a lot of upgraded Marines with tanks coming out. He'll be able to hit a strong timing later on.
Yeah, you know, a great example of this style is if you go watch Beyond's game in the NSOSA Prime series. He does very, very well with it on Tower Remote as well. So, yeah, if you're looking for a good example of that, go check it out. And Missile Turret in front. All right, so he's just kind of staying safe against DP. It's kind of a weird place for that Missile Turret, but it's going to work okay. What is that the Durasteel plating thing?
Neosteel frame!
Yeah, okay.
Bunker!
That's
He's making
the bunker upgrade. Oh, this build.
Oh, wait, where did we saw this in GSL?
Yeah, it was on the GSL. There
was
actually someone, I can't remember who did it, but they did do this.
Help us out, Twitter.
They just built a lot of bunkers as well.
It was on this map because the Terran player did it to a guy who was sitting in the top right-hand corner.
That's right. That's right. It was actually, I want to say it was
high profile.
I want to say it was I'm Happy that did it. I could be wrong. I don't have time to look it up right now, but if it is that build, which it kind of looks like it is, this is something that can be difficult for Protoss players to handle.
Oh, this
is
awesome.
Just because it comes really, really hard, really fast, and with those bunkers and the extra capacity, it becomes pretty difficult for Protoss to then break that.
Yes. And Stalkers are actually taking quite a bit of damage there. But yeah, so Artis is going to be able...
Marines, he did okay there.
Very much so, and we'll see. He got away without much permanent damage as well. SCVs are pulled, so he's going to try and make some bunkers along the bottom here. Put in those tanks, and of course he can push these bunkers forward with 6 Marines in each. I mean, that's a significant DPS upgrade.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And unfortunately, HerO does see this coming, so he's going to be able to prepare as best he can. He's got 3 more gateways about to finish right now, and he will have +1/+1 pretty soon as well.
And Artis is fine with taking losses of a couple of Marines because he's pushing up with a ton of units now. HerO, he was just sitting on 3 gates. He's actually going up to Robo Bay in the midst of all this, feeling very confident with these upgrades that he's going to have soon. Artis now finally pulling back to the tanks, and we can see that fancy, cool bunkers that are being constructed
scary
now.
Big bunkers, man.
Yeah.
So frightening. All right. Look at those bunkers. They are huge. They can fit more Marines in them, I believe.
Yes, 6 of them.
Yep, 6 Marines or 3 Marauders. Pretty good too if he gets that point. Oh, but here we go. He does have 2 Immortals, but is it going to be soon enough to break this?
I
think it certainly is.
Yeah, it looks like none of those fancy Neosteel frame bunkers are going to get up as the Zealots have crushed through the front line of units. The tanks are falling incredibly quickly. The Immortals may have gone down, but the bunker has to be recovered as fancy as it looked.
Yep, and that was a pretty big loss for HerO there, or for Artis rather. He's going to have to go home here. He lost some SCVs, lost his entire army. He's going to have to kind of sit and play defensive at this point, but guess what? HerO has Colossi coming out behind this. He's going to have Blink soon. HerO in just a fantastic position in this game. He doesn't even really need to attack at this point either. He can just kind of sit back, get a 3rd in macro as well, but I think he may want to try to end the game. Oh, it's going to be dangerous with 2 siege tanks up there, though. Oh, ouch.
Yeah, loss of a couple of Stalkers there. That's certainly no fun.
Yeah.
HerO's still in a pretty good spot. I mean, he's producing Colossi now. He's has his Twilight Council, so he can go into 2-2 in just a second. And he's got a 3rd base coming up. Now, at this stage, I would say, it's a drop hit to the back, but it looks like Artis is going to be able to pick up on that very quickly. Clearly, HerO, he's not on 3 base yet, but he's moving to 3 base since there is a Nexus on the way.
Sure. I'm done. I'll let you get away with that one. All right,
yeah.
So Artis, though, not any... Oh, never mind. He is making a 3rd command center, so trying to expand as well himself.
Yes.
But HerO does have a decent lead. You know, the thing for Artis, though, is that his macro has been so good throughout all of this. I mean, if you look at the supply, he's not that far behind. He hasn't really lost any workers yet, so his economy is still going about as strong as you could hope for. You can see 55 probes to 53 SCVs, so he's in great shape there. He's also making Vikings in anticipation of the Colossi. He's getting his own upgrades. So Artis still certainly in this game in a big way, despite taking that early loss.
Now, despite the kind of weird way we've arrived at this stage, it is still kind of a familiar scenario. A Protoss player on 3 bases. We saw Creator do this a million times during the Team Arena Challenge, and... you know, he's going to be able to outpace the upgrades from Artis very effectively. +1 weapons is on the way, but that's the first unit upgrade to come out of the engineering base. We've already saw Neosteel frame being finished, but we'll see if Artis is going to have enough here to be able to catch up with just the sheer might of the vastly upgraded, vastly superior upgraded units out of HerO.
You know, I'm glad Artis didn't follow through with that push that he was looking like he was going to do. He just kind of moved out to the center of the map to look threatening, but didn't actually follow through with it. I think if he had, he would have gotten crushed. So that is good.
Yeah.
You know, Liquid HerO, his upgrades are going to be so good here. He's so far ahead in tech right now as well. He's still, you know, I said it was pretty even before, and it is even-ish, but HerO does have a significant advantage when it comes to things like upgrades and just kind of positioning all around. It's going to be very, very difficult for Artis to break what HerO has with the composition that he has.
Now, we saw that HerO during his Fight Club run, and even during Team Arena Challenge, you would agree, was very, very diligent about taking map control, and that's just what he's done here. Artis, aggressive, though, pushing up on the back of a lot of tanks. He does have +1 weapons finished, but HerO's already got 2-2 done from all of his ground units.
Yes, he does. Looks like Artis is going to try this again. Are any bunkers actually going to get up, though, this time? There's only one Colossus, but there are a ton of charge lots. I mean, that's what's going to break this, I think. Just a huge amount of speed lots. And will it work? Not the best angle, actually, for the Zealots here. The Marines getting to fire for a long time, but yeah, just way too much for Artis to deal with.
Those upgrades are so good!
Yeah.
And HerO has just run through the tanks. There's not a single one left out right now. Artis trying with his stutter step micro to do the best he can, but he gets a lot of units trapped. HerO finds himself at a 35, almost 40 supply advantage now, and Artis just has to run on home.
Yeah, I did like Artis' little move there where he'd sent some Marines to die, kind of letting the rest of his forces escape, but you know, here we are again in that position where HerO has absolutely crushed the army of his opponent, and now this time he is actually, no, not actually going through with the attack. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. It's still a little bit iffy, you know, I mean, in this situation, I think it really is best to kind of wait till you max out, get 200, get a few more high-tech units out on the field right now.
Oh.
But HerO may not want to do that. He is getting pretty close to being maxed out already, though.
Yeah, I think it's
going.
This is a safe bet. We'll see if it works out for him, though, as he's going to push ahead with those charge lots. A lot of units in the back for Artis. That's pretty high DPS, but the upgrades are just staggeringly good for HerO, and he is just going to crash on through. The tanks have disappeared. The economy is gone. There's the GG, and Artis has fallen. Liquid HerO going up 2-1 now in this best of 5.